Okay, let's kick off. My inbox has been flooded quite a bit with this workshop that happened on the weekend. Does anyone have any immediate questions about it? If not, I will just share a theme. So if you don't know, there's a company called Planet Personal Growth. This is one of Bianca's babies. Um, and it is a transformation workshop, men, women. This one was women only. And I was crewing it, done it a couple of times. This was my first, this type of work was my first ever introduction to like in-person events. So back in like 2016, this was the first type of work that I did. And it was the work that opened the fucking floodgates for me. And it has not stopped since then. So it's been a bloody wild ride since then. And yeah, so this one on the weekend, I'll just speak to this quickly because I was talking to my one-on-ones last night on our group call, and very powerful call, lots of very interesting reflections this morning from last night's call about the shares from it. So I just wanted to share a little bit with you guys as well. So it was a women's workshop, okay? And a very big theme that I saw, hello, Matt, was women afraid of their power. Okay, so men, this may not be as relevant to you, but stay with me. Stay with me. Now, it was quite funny. There was actually quite a lot of young girls on this one, more than I've ever seen. So it was kind of like really young or more to the mature side. And there was a woman there who was terminally ill, like full-blown cancer fucking patient, dying, hectic. Her daughter was there. She was a scientist. And the thing, like my biggest takeaway with this particular dynamic, the mother-daughter, um, this scientist was so fucking smart, right? She's a woman, obviously. She is so smart. Her life mission that we finally figured out was for a Nobel Prize for like child diseases. Okay, this is how fucking smart she was. And the whole time she was sharing that she never wanted to identify as a woman because historically women have been seen as the weaker sex. Okay. And so she just didn't want to be seen as that in her industry, in her field. If you're a woman, you're not as good, blah, 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 blah. And I'm sure a few women can relate to that in trading. I know I have in the past. It is finance, it's a very male dominated field. Yet, no offense, boys, women actually make better traders because of like how we're wired. So I'll share about that later. But what this girl shared was that she wasn't proud to be a woman. She didn't love being a woman. But she also didn't identify with the whole pronoun world. She didn't also believe in that. She was just genuinely spiraling with confusion about who she was and what she wanted to be. And the work we did over the weekend, she finally stood up on Sunday and she shared to the whole group that she was proud to be a woman because I have goosebumps just like thinking about that and the work that was done. And everyone, she was hilarious, like one of the funniest people I've ever met. I actually miss her. She was so funny. But so there's that. Okay, there was that little bit of a woman in power dynamic. Now, for some reason, I was say for some reason, because this is actually fucking funny, I was seen as the scary one. All of the girls were scared of me for some fucking reason. I don't know why, because I'm quite friendly. And as the weekend went on, they were asked, there was one girl who she was last and her biggest goal was public speaking. She is a chiropractor. She wants to do something with the education system because the education system, as we all know, is pretty fucked, right? But yet her biggest fear was public speaking. So it's kind of a contradiction. It's like she has this mission that she wants, yet the mission scares her. And so everything that she was doing in her life was keeping her playing small, right? She didn't want to be seen, didn't want to be heard, kept playing safe, lives in a fucking small ass town. Yeah, she's doing everything possible to validate the experience that she lives on a day-to-day basis. And yet she's feeling so unfulfilled in her life. And in one of the processes that I opened up the circle, and it was a very powerful moment. And it was this moment where I shared to the group that we all have this calling. Okay, we all have this calling, whether it's just like this deep burning in our belly or it's really fucking loud, whatever it is, but yet we choose to ignore it. Okay, we choose to wake up every day, do the same shit every day, and wonder why we feel so unfulfilled, yet we actually know the reason why. And I shared with these women that the biggest fear, the thing that worries me the most about even all of you, men and women, is that you all know that you're here for something bigger, and yet you're choosing to fucking ignore it or not do the work in this space to achieve what it is you're trying to do. That actually really scares me about people. Okay. So the theme of the weekend was really stop fucking around and find your voice, step into it, take up fucking space. Okay. And by the end of it, there was this one girl who Fee asked her, who scares you the most out of this crew? And she looked dead at me and was like, SJ. And so, of course, I go into the circle and we're talking. And it was a very cool moment because I got to reflect to her what she saw in me, and I got to extract out of her the things she saw in me. And I got to show this girl how powerful she was. And then a minute later, she is walking around the room sharing her mission. And she's bawling her eyes out because one, she's passionate about it, but she's shit scared, but she's doing the damn thing. Okay. And this is what I wanted to kind of, the call tonight is not about this, but it is about you guys actually doing your part in your fucking life. Like you have a vehicle here. Okay. Whether it is trading, investing, business, whatever it is, you have something here that can change your life. So this is what tonight's call is about. Okay. When you've started out in trading, it's crucial to understand that this path to being profitable is also really fucking unrewarding at first. Okay, because if you think about all the other things you're doing, whether it's jobs, even just doom scrolling on social media, right? A job's going to give you immediate results in the form of a paycheck. Social media will give you a hit of dopamine. It'll give you that instant gratification. Okay. Whereas trading and business, it's going to require a lot of upfront effort with no guaranteed payoff in the immediate future. You all understand that, right? Okay. And the reason, like this difference is going to lead to demotivation because naturally we are drawn to activities that reward us quickly. This is a basic human fucking, what's the word? Inclination, right? We seek out things and tasks that give us a quick, positive feedback, which in then turns, which in then triggers dopamine, a feel-good neurotransmitter in our brain, right? So it's important to recognize that this initial phase of your demotivation is a very common experience that every single one of us go through. That is not a sign that you're failing. That is not a sign that trading is not for you. But how many of you have thought that? Right? It's actually about the nature of learning to trade. It is a complex skill. It involves a lot of uncertainty. Okay. And the rewards that you're wanting is going to take some time to materialize, I can't say that word. So to navigate that, you need to adjust your mindset, right? You need to value the learning process itself and stop focusing on the end result. And whenever you are faced with a behavior that presents as procrastination, my core advice to you is going to remain the same. I'm going to ask you to pause, reflect, and get to the root of your problem. So you need to ask yourself, why am I doing this? And what value does this bring? You need to ask yourself, you can literally ask those two questions to any particular thing. It could be to doom scrolling. It could be to watching Netflix. It could be to whatever the thing that is that you're doing. You can say, why am I doing this? What value is it bringing me? It's going to give you a very big reality check immediately. Okay. Now, some of you are in your own chats for accountability. So honest question, how is that going for you? Or is it just another group chat that you're in? A group chat that started with the best intentions and now what? Life's happened. right? My question to you here then is, do you really need accountability or are you lacking commitment? Yeah, that's the question. There's a lot of stats that show that the number one reason why people hire a coach, hire a mentor, is to have someone hold their feet by the fucking fire to get things done. Okay. And having coached thousands and thousands of people over the years, I have personally discovered that even though people may seek out a coach for accountability, okay, a mentor to learn the tools, the tricks, whatever it is, the difference between those who succeed and those who struggle and just fucking fuck about have actually less to do with needing accountability and more to do with their level of commitment. Okay. Like when I vet a potential client, the one question, and if you filled in the questionnaire, you would have answered this, right? It's on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being very little, 10 being I'm ready to fucking go right now. What is your level of commitment to doing what you need to do to get what you want, right? Most people are like 10, right? They're 10. It's an 8 or above. However, when things get tough, when the dopamine wears off, right? That high level of commitment, it fucking nosedives. Some people quit. Some people blame external circumstances, whatever it is. So what has happened here, guys? Did they lack accountability? No. Because they have me on tap. You all have me on tap. Few clicks of a finger and there I am. What they lacked was commitment. So think about it, right? When you decide and are committed, these two powerful states already contain within them the seed of accountability if you're truly committed, right? Like the Latin root meaning like of the word decision is to cut off, right? You are cutting off an escape route. You are committed, which therefore means you are accountable. Like when I think about my journey and how I started because my situation was fucking dire. It was embarrassing financially, or because of my own doing. I didn't want to live like that anymore. Therefore, I did not need accountability to fucking get going because my situation was dire. That itself was accountability, right? I was holding myself accountable. Sometimes I would say to a friend, my trading group, I'm sharing what I'm about to share because I need accountability, but no one ever had to push me, had to light a fucking match under my ass. No one ever had to do that. Like me saying I need accountability was all the accountability I needed because I had commitment. Does that make sense? Right? So the clients that I work with, the students that I work with who actually achieve their goals, they have this same burning commitment in them. I don't have to force accountability. They just tell me they're going to do it. And then they get busy doing it. And it's never a fucking straight line. We never expect that, right? If you think coming into this is going to be a straight line, you're not living in reality, right? Shit happens to everyone. Life gets busy for everyone. But what are you allowing to distract you? Right? The people that become successful in this, right? They don't waste time finding fault. They may message me and voice note me for a fucking vent, but then they get back to living and doing the thing, right? They don't throw in the towel because they don't have X amount of money in the bank by a certain date or an X amount of money in their trading account by a certain date or X amount of clients, whatever it is. They know they're here for the process. They know they're here for the long haul, right? So the next time you think you need accountability to achieve your goals in this, I want you to question, maybe it's not accountability you seek. Maybe it is a deeper level of commitment. Okay. Like I have many sessions with clients who say, SJ, I'm in a fucking shitstorm right now. Help me figure out how to resolve this so I can get on with it. They don't sit there and suffer, right? Instead of thinking, the storm is the end, this is it, now I have to quit, that it's like, can you help me figure out this? Like, I'm too in it to understand it. I need an outside perspective, right? All self-made people, I don't really believe in self-made, but I'll use the term for this right now, have a built-in accountability system coupled with a fierce, deep level of commitment. They are the two things that allow you to show up no matter what. Right? But obviously the three things that you need to get shit done is going to be commitment, priority, and self-accountability. You know, I've been thinking a lot about these three concepts in this last week. You know, it's logical to understand that nothing much gets done if there's no commitment to doing it, right? So in my mind, commitment must come first. Okay. But I bet you've committed to do something you didn't do, right? I know I have. You commit, you say you're going to do it, and then you don't. And this is where the prioritization of the commitment comes into play. Okay. Now, I know, you know, Nat's in the chat saying she's got a group and it's really great. So I know that public accountability plays a really big role in accomplishing a lot of things. You know, like I'll give you an example. When I make a commitment to do a one-on-one with you guys, I prioritize that commitment by putting it in my calendar and sending you a Zoom link. It is very rare that I don't honor that kind of agreement unless I've like, something's happened. I've never not shown up for a call in 10 years of doing this, unless something has happened, which is very rare. Right? So in my mind, that strategy would work for anything. Okay. I decide what it is I want to do, which is my commitment. I put it in the calendar, which is the priority, and then so it is. Okay. But the issue with that, like logically, that's good. But then reality contradicts that theory in a really big fucking way. Because in my lifetime, and I'm sure you're the same, I've made a lot of commitments, scheduled in many appointments with myself, like work out at this specific time, sit down and start, you know, writing your book, eat 11 fucking fruits and vegetables every single day. Fucking call a friend, right? Go see my nephews. And I actually haven't followed through at all with them. There's many times I haven't done that. So the logic, this is where the logic fails, right? Those commitments and the priority of the obligations that I made to myself aren't always honored at the same level as those prioritized commitments I make to others. Who feels that? You know, the last 12 months, especially, I've learned a giant fucking lesson about accountability. I see where people are fucking this up. Right? What I found is that when you sprinkle a little bit of accountability to others in with prioritized commitments, that's when you end up with the success that you want. Right? The mentality that works the best is exactly, Cassie. Hate letting others down, but I'm okay with letting myself down. That's interesting. Right? The mentality that you need is whatever it takes. You want to mark up 2,000 charts in 4 months? Amazing. You want to do 15K steps a day? Amazing. You want to run a marathon in 12 weeks? Fuck yeah. Declare it and then have the mentality of whatever it takes. I will do this. So just on the back of Cassie's comment then, tell me guys in the chat, what's easier, honoring your word to others or yourself? And be honest. None of this, I'm getting better, just what is it? Others or yourself? How's that working out for you? Do you resent them at times then? And be honest. Yep. Drop in the chat for me. What are your life goals, right? Goals, let's just say goals for the next 6 months, 12 months. It could be trading goals. It could be health goals. Maybe you want to lose 10 kilos, be more consistent with your study if you're not actually trading yet. What is the goal? Just simple words. Don't paragraph me. Just what is it? Some of you are looking like you don't have goals. That's also a bit of a problem. Get funded, lose weight, funded account, trading consistently. Learn trading. 5K weight loss and donor, 7-figured funded, get funded and host in person. Okay. The key to your success with these goals lies in how much value and importance you place on them. Like, look at these goals. Make trading my main job. Funded trader, thriving business. Move to a farm, become stronger, profitable trading, become funded. Guys, I'm telling you right now, you are not thinking big enough. When I sit down with you guys on calls and we walk through step by step your goals and what you want to achieve, that's really fucking modest. Get funded, debt free, want to double my take home pay, double my equity. I want to call this 2x thinking, and 2x thinking is really fucking dangerous. And 2x thinking is a form of status quo thinking, right? If you are just looking to increase your take home pay or replace your take home pay, what is that? 50, 60, 70, 80, I don't know, right? Funded, how much? How much you want to be paid per payout, right? Whatever the goal is, if you're just looking to do said thing, you're probably just imagining just doing what you're already doing, only a little bit more efficiently, a little bit more profitably. These goals here are not looking to shake things up. You're just hoping to get better results out of the tried and true strategies that have gotten you where you are. It's just you with a little bit more money. All those goals is that. It's just you with a little bit more money. And the trouble with 2x thinking is that it's just a pretty half-hearted, I don't know what I say there, half-hearted commitment to change, right? It's just a little bit more than a commitment to not changing. I need you to take on the 10x thinking, right? We want to bring 10x changes into your life. We want to increase our income 10 fucking fold, right? We want to increase our equity, our investments, our wealth 10-fold. That's where your sights need to be, because this kind of thinking is going to shake you the fuck up. Because right now you're all playing a little bit too small, and that was the theme on the weekend. People doing just enough to get just enough better, to make just enough more money and nothing more. Right? A commitment to 10x thinking makes you look at your life and be like, if this is 10x and I only want to be funded, I'm only fucking here. Right? It's not how do you increase your income from 70K to 140K? It's how do I increase my income from 70K to 700K? Otherwise, you're going to be living like the Fallout. Has anyone watched that series? It's quite terrifying. Right now, obviously, all the strategies that have got you here to where you currently are, that's not going to get you to 700K. You need a whole new game plan. A game plan that shows up as innovation, as complete identity overhaul, as complete habit overhaul. Like, you need to get creative. You need to push some fucking envelopes and experiment. You need to get a lot more courageous and a little bit more ballsy than what you are. And when you set your sights on this 10x, it'll quickly start changing all of your decision-making processes, because now you're no longer looking at small improvements. You're not asking yourself, how can I do this better? You're asking yourself, how can I do this in a way that I've never done something before? How can this be done in a way that's never been done before? How can I develop myself into the person who has this? What and who needs to fuck off out of my life so this can happen? Right? It's not the goal that matters. It's why is that goal important to you, right? How does losing weight, making money, getting funded, quitting your job, building a business, becoming super successful in trading, how does that align with your deeper values, right? Is it about the health you'll have, the time you'll have, the confidence, the power, the financial independence, the security. What is it providing for you? Right? Understanding this connection makes your goal so much more than just something to fucking tick off. Cool. FTMO funded. Boom, done that. It's actually not that hard. It's really not that hard. Keeping it's hard, but passing the challenge isn't hard, which means if your goal is just to get funded, I'm telling you right now, 2x thinking. Because it's not difficult to do. So when you understand your connection between the goal, your goal, as more than just something to tick off, more than just a target, it is now part of your life fucking mission. How is your life going to actually change when you do the things? What will you be able to do then that you can't do now? This isn't fucking fantasy land. Get out of it. Like I said to the women on the weekend, it scares the shit out of me that people have an avenue like this, and yet we still fucking play with our dicks. That's what we're doing. Sorry to Nat's kids. Like, so let's consider the power of a public commitment, right? When you declare your goals openly, sure, it's not just public accountability. You're not just promising it to yourself. You're enlisting this now to the support of the Tradehouse community. That then adds a layer of motivation fueled by accountability. Right? Like we need a bit of a mental reset, guys. Accountability, it's not about punishment. It's not about shaming yourself in a group chat for feeling shit about the thing that you didn't do that you said you were going to do, right? It's about consistency. It's about holding people to high standards. That's not about policing bad behavior. It's not about being punitive. Is that the word? Punitive? I never know. Punitive. It's more about, are we who we say we are? That question there, it's rooted in commitment. Are we who we say we are? Be honest. Right? Think of this public thing that we're going to do, all of you. I did this with my group last night and shit, it was powerful, right? Think of it as being committed to very intentional behaviors and very intentional performance behaviors, I suppose, that's driving you to your goals. Like if you truly want to hold people accountable, then be held accountable. Right? And if you want to do it, if you want to have your own group chats, that's fine. But don't just let it be another fucking group chat where every Sunday we send in 5 charts and then you don't do it. Right? Get a group of people. You need to find a person, a group who comes across with a neutral approach to helping you. This is why choosing a friend is not good. Choosing a family member is not good. You know, choosing a close acquaintance, it's not going to work out. Okay, why? Because there is an emotional connection that's underpinning your relationship, which then means that they cannot have those hard, difficult conversations, because if they did, you're going to get pissed off and triggered and defensive. You ever tried saying to your partner, you said you're going to go for a run, you said you're going to work out, you said you're going to do this, and now you're fucking fighting? Yeah, it doesn't work. It's counterintuitive to your existing relationships, and it's really hard to separate your private relationship from the business that needs to be done. Business is business. Clear thinking is required. Any conflict of interest and the desire to protect feelings is actually causing way more damage. Right? Your accountability group, it needs to be with people with someone who understands that failure is normal and they're not going to coddle you in your shit. It's, am I being who I say I'm being? No, fucking Bill, you said you're going to do 5 charts. Where are they? That's how you hold your group accountable. Right? And it's like that quote, we're not judged by the amount of times you succeed, but rather the amount of times you fail and keep trying. Right? If you don't fail, at some point during this journey, then I'd be questioning whether you're truly pushing yourself hard enough, if you're stretching yourself hard enough. Right? And then ask yourself, are the goals you're setting high enough? Because all those ones in the chat, nah. Financial freedom, what does that mean? Like if I set a goal, like I'm completely financially free, independent, right? I don't have to fucking trade, make another trade, sell a course. I don't have to do anything if I don't want to. My bills are paid. At 25, I set a goal for at 35, I want to be financially independent. I then wrote out what that meant. I didn't achieve that because I just said, I want to be financially independent. What's the number you need? You've got to be really honest with yourself. Who are you? Don't be trying to impress anyone here. Like if you're in a group for accountability, how are you holding each other accountable? In the chat. So we don't focus so much on the how, which causes limiting thoughts. We just keep striving, moving forward, and keep trying to find the path direction to get to the goal. Yeah. It's never going to be linear. Will never be linear. Right, guys, the next layer to this is like, let's reflect on self-awareness. Right? It is crucial. It is critical to recognize our own patterns and our own behaviors. Like what are the triggers that make you stray away from your goals, that make you stop your trading study, that make you not do your 5 fucking charts every Sunday, that make you fall off your diet, that make you not go to the gym, that make you not want to focus on your health? What are the specific triggers that make you do that? Because understanding these patterns is going to be the first step to changing them, right? If we don't confront these habits, what are you going to do? You're going to repeat them, right? I want you to start auditing all the stories that you tell yourself about who you are and what you can achieve, right? Are these narratives holding you back? Audit them. Instead of saying, I'm not good at sticking to things, my ADHD this, my ADHD fucking that. I've got that too. It's my superpower. Right? Start telling yourself, I am someone who is learning to be consistent rather than someone who I'm not consistent. I am someone who's fucking learning to be. That's a better way of saying that. Right? Changing how you view yourself with just subtle language like that is going to dramatically alter how you show up every single day to achieve the said goals. Right? This is why when we trade, we have an emotional journal too. So you need to be journaling your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions. This is going to reveal what pushes you off track and then what strategies you can then instill to put you back on track. Right? Avoidance of what causes pain and discomfort is so fucking common, but avoidance is the very thing that perpetuates and deepens all of your old patterns. And we all have patterns, right? A lot of what we do, how we react, what we think about ourselves, what we judge in others, guys, that actually didn't start with us, but it can end with you. Right? The women's workshop, because of the young girls, they were getting a bit fucking cliquey, a bit gossipy. You know what I said to them? Shut the fuck up. We're not here for that. I said to these women, we are not here to bond over your wounds, bond over your insecurities, bond over your fucking traumas. We're not here to do that. We're here to show you your damn power. That's what we're here to bond over. But all this shit, right? What we think about ourselves, the gossiping, the fucking low vibration shit that you all do, we all do, because yes, we're human. Maybe it didn't start with us, right? Maybe it was families, culture, whatever it was, right? A lot of it is just what we learn to accept as normal, right? So who would you begin to know, or what would you begin to know if something was healthy or something it wasn't, if you didn't fucking question it? So I want you to ask yourself, what Are you normalizing for yourself that you don't want to be your normal? I hear it all the time. Married people fight all the time. Do they? I don't have any good friends. Really good, like friends are hard to find. It's normal like that when you get older. Is that normal? Is that your normal? Is that what you want? Struggling with money, that's normal. Is that what you want? Like some people bond over the most basic fucking shit, and you're struggling to make changes because all of these behaviors, whether they're old or what they're old, obviously, it's still meeting a need. So instead of shaming yourself, identify the need and just allow it to exist. Right? Because our most consistent, problematic, frustrating behaviors, guys, they're not coincidental. And neither are they, you know, inherent parts of who we actually are. What are they? They're learned. You learned it somewhere, which means you get to unlearn it. Okay? Your brilliant fucking brain observed something and decided, I'll have that. Literally what it did. Right? Your brain, when you were little, figured out what you needed to do to stay alive, to stay connected, to be seen, to be heard. It figured out what you needed to be, who you needed to be. And now you still behave that way. Bring this right back to the emotions and money core, the attachment around money, exactly the same thing. Right? If you go to shut down and pull away when people get close to you, right? Maybe it's because you learned that your daddy left you, right? Mummy left you when you were younger. I don't know. You learned that closeness leads to emotional overwhelm and abandonment. And now your body's like, fuck this. I'm going to leave before I get left. That type of shit, right? If you like to chase unemotionally available people, maybe it's because you grew up and you consistently had to prove your worth to people that weren't actually all that interested in meeting you where you needed to be met. And now that's what love feels like to you, but that's not fucking love. Right? If you get defensive, if you lash out, if you people please, if you procrastinate, disassociate, self-sabotage, there is a reason for it. Whether you choose food, I don't know, whatever it is, fucking get curious. It's whatever your thing is, it's actually doing something for you. At least it's trying to, right? We do what we do for a reason, and that reason isn't because we are flawed. We're not going there. Okay, because adding shame to the behavior only makes this shit harder to shift. So instead, we want to create we want to give ourselves a bit of fucking space and a bit of a break and a little bit more compassion to really find out what is at the center of me doing this. Get some clarity around what is making me do this, what is making me feel this, and then let's get this need met another way. Because there is often a deeper unmet need accompanied by a feeling you were not allowed to express when you were younger, right? So when we can start to see the patterns, when we can start to see the deeper needs, when we can allow ourselves to sit with all of these unfelt feelings, that's when all the external behaviors get to shift, right? Like, could it just be that you're fucking lazy? Yeah, it could be that too. But instead of just giving into feelings and giving into unmotivation and the I can't be fucked-itis, get curious as to why. Now, with like from a shadow work lens, right? How do we transcend through these shadows, through these projections, through these triggers, through this just utter bullshit? You got 3 ways to move through these things. You get a choice, you get to withdrawal, or you get to repeat. Right? The choice bit, that begins with the realization that you have the power to choose your response in any situation. You know, you need to become aware of the feelings, of the thoughts, of the behaviors. You need to notice when you get triggered, where you might be projecting your issues onto others. And then the second part to this is the responsibility. It is taking responsibility. Like, this is where you get to just pause in the fucking moment and be like, I'm going to take responsibility for my reaction here, right? Because when you understand that you have a choice in how you respond to your emotions and your triggers, that then empowers you to act rather than react. Think about that on the charts. You have a choice, you have awareness, you have the responsibility. Right? Second one is you get to withdraw. And this can work in two ways. You can just, with withdrawing, it's not about escaping your problems. It's actually just giving it space to pause, to reflect. Why am I doing that? Why am I feeling that? Right? The repetition, there's a duality here. Right? It's either going to, when you repeat, it's going to reinforce existing patterns. That's going to keep fucking you up. Or the repetition can be strategically used to embed new and beneficial behaviors that support what you're trying to do. Because without realizing it, you all know we find ourselves repeating the same patterns of behavior that do not serve us, right? You know that, and you do. Why do I keep doing that? I know better. And this could be anything from emotional reactions to poor decision making on the charts, impulsive decision making. But I'll tell you guys, when you believe that shifting a pattern is possible, that's when you begin to shift the pattern, yeah? Right? All these deeply held beliefs about who you are, what's possible, what's in the way, all these blocks, what you're capable of, it's going to impact how you show up each and every single day. And obviously all of your lived experiences and all of these outside forces that exist around us, they do matter, okay? But you've heard me say this before. Your beliefs about yourself matter a whole lot fucking more than anything that's going on outside of you. Like, to move forward, you have to learn how to see how your current patterns are and what they are, and be present to your resistance around changing them. But no shame. You need to be compassionate with the resistance. When you try to ignore what's going on internally, it becomes the kind of thing that manifests as procrastination, anxiety, panic attacks, right? Insomnia. Your body, when you have these symptoms, right? Your body is literally reacting to try and alert you that something's not right. And you can only get on top of that when you learn to be fully present to your feelings, to your beliefs, to your resistance around the thing in order to shift it. And because when you learn to be present to all parts of yourself, that's literally screaming for your attention. That's going to be how you develop self-trust. Who here is struggling with eating well at the moment? Who's struggling with exercising, with doing the work? Be honest. Two hands. I'm going to be honest in a very lovingly brutal way, but that's the bare minimum shit that you should be doing as a human, is nurturing yourself, looking after yourself, eating well, moving your body, working on your shit. That's the bare minimum. That doesn't feel good to say either, by the way. But you're going to stop entertaining the bare minimum in yourself, in others, when you heal parts of you, when you heal the parts of yourself that you feel are not enough for what you really want. Right? Because when you entertain the bare minimum, you're going to accept less than what you deserve. Like, think about it, right? When someone achieves a goal, what do you say? Say a really good mate, write in the chat. When a really good mate of yours achieves something, what do you actually fucking say? So proud of you. Exactly. Fuck yeah. Congratulations, so proud of you. What do you say to yourself? That was a fluke. Exactly, right? That was a fluke. Don't get lucky. Don't get too excited. If someone makes a mistake, what do you say? If a friend made a mistake, what do you say? You're probably going to say, look, it's going to be okay. We'll figure it out. It's all good. Mistakes happen. What do you say to yourself? You're a fucking idiot. What's wrong with you? Right? If there's a friend struggling with something, what do you say? Some shit like, I believe in you. I don't know what you say. Maybe you say that, right? What do you say to yourself? I knew you couldn't do it. You're always a fucking failure. Do you see the fucking problem here? This is a big problem. Like, it's time we fucking change this, how we treat ourselves. Right? You need more belief in you. You need more belief in your why, more belief in your commitment. You know, I was having a chat with one of you boys today. I just want to clear something up. Like, I just want to talk about laziness. Right? This is something I hear a lot of people self-identify with. You know, I believe I could do more, but maybe I'm just lazy. I can't relax. Who are the non-relaxers here? You can't relax because you feel like you're being lazy. Right? Like, let's think about laziness for a second. What comes to mind? When you think about you being lazy or someone being lazy, what are they doing? Wasting time, but what are they doing? Watching TV, sleeping in until past 10, sitting on the couch, scrolling, not doing anything, right? That is, all of this here is a commonly agreed definition. But can I just tell you, none of those things are inherently bad, right? In fact, some of you probably could do more of that, if I'm being quite honest. You're burning the candle at both ends and you're starting to stress yourself the fuck out and you're stressing everyone else out around you because you're so high strung. You know, Johnny, your task this weekend is to watch the whole season of fucking Fallout. Boom, done. Permission. Right? The problem on my way, right? The problem is that society has built all these structures of shame around laziness and then defined laziness as being pretty much all the bundle of activities there that other people call relaxing. And so some people can't fucking relax because they feel like they're being lazy. And that's a huge problem. Like, if you can't relax, you can't rejuvenate. And if you can't rejuvenate, you're going to burn out. And if you burn out, you're going to throw in the towel and get really fucking sick. It's in the chat. How do you get the balance between working on yourself and leveling up? I'll tell you. You need to actually recognize what laziness is. This is how you do this, Bill. Laziness is when you lack the willingness to do the things that you know you should do. I'll say it again. Laziness, I'm trying to remember what I said. What did I fucking say? Laziness is when you lack the willingness, okay? The willingness to do the things that you know you should be doing. When you're sitting on the couch watching Fallout, when you know there's actually other things to do and you're not that burnt out, you know you can be actually doing it. You just can't be fucked. The energy here is I can't be fucked. Right? That's the vibe. Right? So the most important thing here is that you set the benchmark and that you define what laziness is, nobody else. Maybe it's laying on the couch watching Netflix when you had actually blocked out time to watch 3 of the trading videos. You blocked out time for study, but oh, big day at work, can't be fucked. Right? Or maybe it's when you stay in bed a lot longer than what you actually promised yourself that you would get up and do some exercise in the morning, but you stayed there and scrolled instead. Who's a bit of a morning scroller? Eyes open, scroll time. Good. That's laziness, right? Does that answer your question, Bill? right? Laziness is when you are unwilling to hold yourself to the standards that you ideally want to set for yourself. That's it. It's actually about integrity. So pretty much any you say I can't be fucked means you're being lazy. Pretty much, because if you can be fucked, it's integrity. It's about an alignment between what you say and what you do. Because in that way, and this is a really important thing, you can actually be lazy and be, frenetically active at the exact same time, meaning that you could also be choosing to do something else that's productive than what you should be doing. Who here does that? I need to do my trading study. Oh, it's really boring at the moment. I'm going to go do house cleaning instead. Even though you could fucking house clean on Sunday. It's just the thing that you actually need to be doing isn't what you want to be doing. Right? We see this with trading all the time, which brings us right back to the start about raising the value and the importance of this skill set or your business, learning about money, whatever it is that you're here for, right? Because just because the monetary return isn't there yet for trading, isn't there yet for investing, other things are going to take priority if you haven't raised the value of it. Okay. Things that will give you a more instant gratification, hit a dopamine, a paycheck. Because in my eyes, this kind of thing, which we often call procrastination, to me, that is an important form of laziness, right? We just don't recognize it as laziness because being out of integrity with our word, I guess because we've been brought up to believe that laziness involves a fucking couch, a movie, or a bed. It doesn't. Laziness, Bill, for everyone in here, is actually about integrity. How does your schedule look when you look at it and hear it like that? Like, I can tell you what you really want by what you choose to do, yeah? Like, your brain is really fucking good at convincing you that your perceived reality is the whole truth and nothing but the truth, which means every day you are going to gather evidence and you're going to make choices that strengthen what you already believe. This is confirmation bias, right? So your brain will naturally make every single fucking effort while it's awake and doing its thing to have your external environment match your internal beliefs. Because this is the easiest path, right? It avoids disharmony. This once again means you have to raise the value of the task. You have to have a deeper connection to your why. This means that you have to make an active and intentional effort to change your reality over a long period of time. Right, guys? Nothing is going to set you free quite like understanding how the brain shapes your reality, yeah? You're wired to stay consistent with who you really think you are. So when you use labels like, I'm a procrastinator, I'm an overthinker, I'm not creative, I'm not this, I am whatever, right? Your brain is literally going to find evidence for it, and it's going to use that same evidence to reinforce this reality. Your brain will create what the fuck you tell it. Right? It does, and that this doesn't have to be a big bad wolf bad thing, right? But it's just something that you need to understand and consider when you're making changes in your life. When you go from 2x thinking to the 10x thinking, right? There is a very big difference between your perceived reality and the truth. So what I want you to do, and my one-on-one squad, TSM squad, you've done this, and I want you to do it again in the Tradehouse Discord. I want you to go into and if you're in Rebel, you won't have this channel. So I just want you to do it in Rebel chat for now. Okay. I want you to go into my homework channel. And this is what I'm going to write this in the chat. Hang on. This is what I want you to do. This is your homework. And there's 31 people here. I expect 31 fucking messages in there. I am literally taking a fucking screenshot of who's on this call right now. Like 2 people leave the call. I will find you and I will kill you. Okay. Okay, there's 31 of you. This is what we're going to fucking do. You're going to go to the My Homework channel and you're going to write who you are, what do you want, what's held you back in the past, and what are your next steps. You're going to publicly fucking declare this shit for some public accountability because some of you cannot be trusted. You cannot be trusted. So that's what we're doing. I wrote it in the chat. Yeah, you can repost, D. Who you are, and maybe you guys can do yours first. So it's like the perfect example of what we want. Who you are, what you want, what's held you back in the past, and what your next steps are. So maybe D and the squad, just copy paste yours in there now, and we can have a really good read and an example. And we'll do this now before we wrap it up. So you're going to write it in. This goes in, yeah. And then we can all pull this up and have a little fucking read. Neil, I see you typing. I want you to wait and see this example. I didn't realize it told me who's typing. That's sneaky. So yeah, D, Carrie, Johnny, Beck. Just someone type yours in here ASAP. Here we go, Beck. What do I want? I want to not be working for someone, to have my own time. Oh my gosh. To not go into an office every day, to be consistent and financially secure through trading, personal and funded, and other investments. Okay. Who do I want to be? I want to be a good role model for my boys, show up for them in alternative ways, right? What stopped me? My self-belief in myself, that I can achieve the things I want to, distractions, inconsistency, allowing challenges that come into my life, throwing me, losing myself. This is the perfect example of what I want you guys to do. And this is not a 1 minute fucking answer, but I want it done by tomorrow afternoon. There's no need to overthink it. If you fucking breathe into it, you feel in your bloody belly, you know what it is. You know the answers. What do you fucking want? None of this 2x shit. We're 10xing. You want funded? What does that mean? How are we feeling? Good? Any questions? Cool. Thank you. I'm just, to be quite frank with everyone, like after the weekend, it was the most, like, even though I was crewing, it was equally as transformative for me as it was the women that were there. And I'm just fucking done with people half-assing their lives, right? There was a woman there terminally ill with fucking cancer, like full-blown fucking cancer vibes, right? No hair, these sleeves on her arm, in her 60s or 70s. Just nuts. I will share. I will stop recording though because it's very fucking personal.